subtracting integers related to adding integers? Think about this question during the lesson. A football team gains 3 yards on first down. On second down, they lose 8 yards. What is the total change in yards after the first 2 downs? You can use what you know about adding integers to subtract integers. You can use a number line to represent the team's total change in yards. The team gains 3 yards on first down. Why does the number line model start the first arrow at 0? Zero represents the team's starting position before the gained or lost yardage. Then, on second down, the team loses 8 yards. The team's final position represents a 5-yard loss from their starting point. If the team lost 8 yards on first down and gained 3 yards on second down, would that affect the total change in yards?
Select your answer.
The order of the plays is swapped. A change of -8, followed by a change of 3, still represents a 5-yard loss. You can also use a subtraction expression to represent the team's change in yards. Subtracting 8 from 3 is the same as adding -8 to 3. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. To subtract 8, add its opposite, -8. The absolute value of 3 equals 3, and the absolute value of -8 equals 8. The difference of the absolute values is 5. Since -8 has the greater absolute value, the difference will be negative. So 3 minus 8 equals -5. The total change in yards after the first 2 downs is represented by -5. Now you know how to rewrite the difference of 2 integers as an addition problem.
On the next play, the team gained 5 yards and then lost 6 yards. What is the total change in yards?
So we have to look at the picture and fill in the blanks. So first we have this orange looking line that represents the negative yards lost. So how many yards did they lose? In the problem it says they lost 6 yards. So we have to So they gained here 5 yards. That's 5 right from the problem. Then it says 5 minus 6 yards. But then we have to add the 2 yards together. And that losing 6 yards will end up being a -6. So you are subtracting the 6 yards from the 5. As you can see, they overlap, and where you see they overlap, there's a gap, and that equals -1. And so the total change in yards is -1. So they had a total loss of 1 yard.
Example 2, subtract integers with different signs. Ian's football team lost 2 yards on a running play. Then it received a 5-yard penalty. What is the team's total change in yards? Write a subtraction expression to represent the change in yards. So we have -2 to represent the lost 2 yards on the play, and then we have -5 to represent that 5-yard penalty. because in football, when you get a penalty, you lose yards. So we need to write an equivalent addition expression. So what you see in the example here is they have written -2 plus -5 because we're adding the two loss of yards that the team had, Ian's football team had. So on the number line, you show 0 to 2 to represent the -2 yards. And then from -2, you add 5 more units to add those other 5 yards they lost. And that stops at -7. So -2 plus -5 is equal to -7 because the absolute value of -2 is 2, the absolute value of -5 is 5, and then -2 plus -5 equals the -7. So we had to add the negative back in, so we had the answer.
Find -7 minus -8.
One way is to write -7 minus -8 as an equivalent addition expression. So the two negatives turn into positive. So you have -7 plus 8. And then they took the absolute value of -7 and it became 7. So you have 7 and 8. The signs of the addends are different. So find the difference of the absolute values. The sum has the same sign as the integer with the greater absolute value. So the absolute value of both are here. The 8 is the greater absolute value. So 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. And so -7 plus 8, which is back what we had here, is equal to 1. So -7 minus -8 is equal to 1. Another way is to use integer chips to model the expression. Start with 7 red chips, that represents the -7. Since you need to remove 8 red chips to subtract -8, insert a 0 pair. A 0 pair is a positive and a negative. To subtract -8, remove 8 chips. So here they took away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chips, and then they placed another red chip to create the 0 pair. So that negative and positive is the 0 pair. After removing those 8 red chips, there is 1 yellow chip remaining. And so -7 minus -8 is equal to 1.
Subtract. Use a number line to help you find the answer.
Okay, so we have -4 minus 6. So let's use the number line. I have -4, and I'm going to be taking away 6. So I'm going to move the second arrow 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so my answer for A would be -10. -10. Let's look at B, 6 minus -4. So 6 minus -4. Let's start over. So we got +6. And then we have, remember, a minus and negative creates a plus. So it'll be 6 plus 4. So I add 4 more. And then my answer is 10. So that's a plus, and it equals 10. All right, let's look at C. 4 minus -6. So we have 4, and then -6, again, that's a minus and a negative. It's going to turn into a plus. So it's going to be 4 plus 6. Again, it's going to be 10. All right, let's do D. We have 6 minus 4, so we have 6 minus 4. So I'm going to go minus 4, so it's going to go this direction. And so 6 minus 4 is 2. All right, now we have 4 minus 6. So we got 2. Yeah, 4, and then we're going to take away 6. So we're going to go back 6 spaces. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And that's going to give us negative 2. Then we're going to look at F. And it says negative 4 minus negative 6. And remember the minus and the negative makes a plus. So negative 4 plus 6. So we're going to start with negative 4. And we're adding 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer to F would be positive 2.